Bonjour, ça va? Bien, merci. Bienvenue à Entrevista.
Merci. I can't wait to have the film screened in this beautiful theater and in front of the audience, because I could not taste and feel the audience right now. I just arrived yesterday, but this is part of the making of the film. It's like the end of the film is when you show it. There's a certain tradition, not only in US, like in the 40s, 30s and 40s, like all those screwball comedies, then the beginning of those remarriage comedies, and the fun that maybe pre-Code Hayes and after Code Hayes, like the American filmmakers dealt with it, was of course something that I'm like infused with. The fact that Jodie Foster is this American actress living in Paris, having a trench coat, trying like to figure out what's the crime, was part of the process as well. Was part of the references that we had. There is this combination. I feel that we reached maybe a more adult moment in the film industry, that probably this freedom we got like in the beginning, in the early ages of like the classic cinema hollywoodien, and for like decades it became very industrial. Like, do you have to make a thriller? Like, let's do just one thriller or one comedy or one art house movie. And then eventually, decades pass and we can blend genres. And we can go back to the kind of freedom we had like in the early days of crafting the films. And I feel that we need those, because we need to, it's just like shaking hands with the audience and saying, I know you know what I'm doing, but let's do it together. Let's enjoy together. And this is the kind of awakeness I expect from the audience, and that I sometimes and somehow feel as a spectator myself, and I feel rewarded. I used to be an academic. I can be serious, I can be austere, I can be, and sometimes crafting projects of darkness, sometimes I can do. And maybe I did in the beginning of my career. But then eventually those past years, there's a certain climate of terrible, like ténèbres, like darkness, that is really hard for everyone. And I felt the responsibility as a filmmaker to embrace the moment, not being like too light for being light, not being like just like full comedy to be full comedy, because we need like to understand what's happening. But to have, for instance, a tale on guilt and responsibility, but in a way that would be, that would not forget pleasure. So it was probably effectively like, that's true, it was part of the process for me.
Il a tué la tante et puis sa femme.
Je croyais que t'aimais pas les huîtres.
C'est vrai, j'aime pas du tout ça.
She's also like a model in a certain femininity that is very actual, because not a girly one, not only just being in a crisis or being like overwhelmed by emotions. She's someone that can be in crisis out of being too controlling herself, which is something I can relate to and feel it's, much more like accurate and modern right now. It's like things changed. You cannot just like bring an actor or an actress and say do that and do that. She's a director too. And Daniel Auteuil is a director too. And Mathieu Amalric is a director too. Even Louana Bajrami is a director. So I felt like the collectiveness, thinking on the project, this kind of stimulation and invigoration that I like. And with Jodie Foster in this film, it's bringing the most controlled, brainy person in a journey of sensuality and losing control in the past lives and her inconscience. And this was funny. She understood the film more evidently than I did. She explained me the film. She was like, okay, I think this is what's happening. And I was like, this is so interesting. It never happened to me that an actress reveals, the film to me. And then I feel that there's a certain terrible political moment in US that we all witness, that we all understand. And I feel that probably you can find some oxygen somewhere else. And if you have the possibility to do that, and she has, because she has this super skill, like a Marvel character, that she speaks fluently another language. Had a direct connection with the character, and then she really wanted, it was the moment in her career she could take the risk, because she doesn't have anything to prove anymore, to have an entire French speaking character. And a very talkative one, like me.
J'ai trouvé des choses compromettantes chez lui, dont il se débarrassait.
Tu fais ses poubelles?
C'est mon boulot.
Tu trembles.
Je suis persuadée qu'il m'a vu.
Mais non. Ça y est, on a fini pour les...
The meridional aspect of Daniel. I knew for sure that they would get along with that. It's his Mediterranean, funny, vis comica he had that I knew would get along with Jodie. There's one scene, I understood something was happening, it's in an elevator, and it was a real elevator, by the way. And Jodie Foster never had any scene in a real elevator, because as an American actress, they rebuild elevator. So she entered the elevator and she said, "Oh, so it's a real one?" And I said, "Yes." It's the way we do that here. She was amazed it was a real one. And then Daniel Auteuil came, very silentful, very nice, very chic, smelling good. He had a very good aftershave. And they were close to each other, and the scene would be flirtatious and sexual. And they asked me, are you really sure people want to see us kissing each other and flirting? And I was like, yeah, I think they really want to see that. And I think that I really want to film that too. And they started to be very close to each other. It's been a long time they've not been asked to have flirtatious and sensual scenes. And Daniel looked at the face of Jodie and said, I feel I know you for a long time. I feel I know your body for a long time. And she did the same. And then it was and then after every scene, they asked me if they had to kiss each other. They were like, do we need a kiss? Do you need a kiss? And I was like, yeah, why not? So I could tell that something was confident enough between them. And I'm very glad and happy I could just witness this kind of chemistry between them.